Welcome to the Sorted podcast. I'm Laura, the Director of Sorted Digital Marketing, and this is where we explore the experiences of business owners and industry professionals, sharing insights because knowledge shared is knowledge gained. Let's learn and grow together. With 18 years of real estate experience, Chris Melbourne from Melbourne Real Estate Media specialises in auctioneering, sales training and online marketing. For 2024, his focus is leveraging social media to boost real estate agents and businesses nationwide with strategies adapted to... fucking hell.
To be honest, I can't really hear you, so that works. Yeah, it's just your mouth is going, and then I can hear you say fuck, and that's about it. So you're good.
Sorry.
Turn your headphones up a little bit then.
Does that mean I can hear you?
Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear her at all.
Oh, really?
I just hear me.
You should be able to hear each other.
I can hear you. That's not good.
That's all right.
That's weird.
For me, it's like I can hear you enough.
Are you sure? I'm
Yeah.
not allowed to speaker, so this is good.
I can just...
I don't know how you...
roll with it. If we stuff up, you just...
Is it
roll
this
with
one that's down?
Shouldn't be. Try it.
Can you hear me?
No.
Fuck.
I think it's confusing.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, actually, but me really loud.
No. What's bearable?
No, I prefer to not hear me.
Yeah.
I'll struggle.
Is that better?
I can hear you the same as me now. But it's because this is low.
Okay. We'll just roll with it.
I'm like at a 10, you're at a 1.
Yeah, shit.
That's all right.
Okay. All right, we'll start again.
I don't need a clap for these ones. My hands can have a break.
With 18 years of real estate experience, Chris Melbourne from Melbourne Real Estate Media specialises in auctioneering, sales training and online marketing. For 2024, his focus is on leveraging social media to boost real estate agents and businesses nationwide with strategies adaptable for larger industries. A standout achievement, Chris took an office from obscurity to being the most watched in a 50 office network within just 3 weeks, delivering a very impressive ROI. Welcome, Chris.
Hello. Good to be here.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks for coming down.
No stress.
Awesome. So I think we just quickly kick it off.
Yep.
Great start.
You're flying, mate.
Yeah.
You're flying.
How did we meet?
How did we meet? We met a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
B and I was filling in for Ethan.
Yeah.
And you just turned around, shook my hand, and I looked across and you had social media there, and I thought, oh, geez, I don't know what it is, but there could be something here.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even a long story short. It's just a short story.
Yeah. It's only been a couple of weeks.
You called me and said, hey, come down. I want to talk to you on screen. And now I'm shitting myself looking at the camera, talking to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Not used to being in front of the camera.
Not on this side. Not on this side, no.
Amazing. And I think it's very weird to meet someone and connect so quickly and go, we are on the same page.
Yeah.
And I guess that's expected given that we have a very good mutual contact. So.
Yeah. Good. There's a good videographer here who gets my angles right, which is great.
Yeah.
But also, like, in the few chats that we have had, and I think we both agree with this, that wherever I've got a knowledge gap, you kind of fill that in, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And then with the industries as well, we're very niched with what we do. So there's so much to learn between us, and that's what's been really exciting for me over the last couple of weeks is, having good contacts there that you can sort of lean on and reach out to. And then, coming across someone like you has been really awesome. So
because it's hard to find good contacts. I think a lot of people do things okay, but no one does anything great these days. It's really hard to find. So when we got chatting, I was like, oh, he switched on. He knows his shit. We're good.
this could work. This could work. We'll see how we go.
Yeah.
It's good to know that you think that I know my shit too. So that's that's a nice part of it too. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't, and it's very obvious. So So let's get into who you are and what you do. So who are you and what do you offer?
Yeah, cool. So my name's Chris. I run Melbourne Real Estate Media. don't let the name fool you, it's just a surname thing. So we do stuff for Real Estate Agents Australia-wide. And that's purely based off the fact that I've been in real estate for as long as I have. So I only stopped calling auctions this year. I called my last one probably 3 or 4 months ago. And I've done about 2,000 over the journey. So one of the more skilled auctioneers in the country.
Yeah, it's huge.
Not so well known because I never really put my name out there. It's just my clients that use me a lot, which was great. One of the biggest things for real estate agents that has always been a bit of a pet peeve for me is that their job is to market homes and market themselves best they can. But when it comes to social media, that transition from traditional marketing across to digital marketing is really lacking.
Yeah.
And any of the social media or digital marketing specialists that are out there niche towards real estate are more about making a buck for themselves, I feel, and just putting up some posts because some is better than nothing, rather than actually looking at getting targeted return on investment for agents, as well as really developing a personal brand for individuals and for agencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've discussed this, and it's obviously one thing to post results and there's another thing to actually showcase who you're engaging with and what they're like and all of the things that make them different to any other real estate agent.
100%. And I think, like, if you're selling your house and you're inviting 3 different agents out, they're all wearing the same suits. They're all driving the same black BMW.
Yep.
They've all got results in some way, shape or form. And they're all going to sell your house. But the reason that you pick someone is not what they can do, it's why they do it, and how that resonates with you, whether that's a conscious thought or not as a seller or as a prospective client. That is why people make decisions. It's all based on how it resonates with them and the emotional connection. Yeah. So it's not always pinpoint, I like this person more because of X, Y, Z. But that's what we do with social media is we take it away from sold posts, listed posts, testimonials, open home lists that don't work. And we take all the results away because you can find that stuff through other channels like realestate.com and Rate My Agent. And we focus on the why and getting to know those people. So who is John Smith as a person? What does he do on the weekend when he's not doing open homes? What is his background? Why did he get into real estate? All that sort of stuff. And we take it well
showcasing the person, not just the suit, as you've mentioned before. Yeah,
taking away the cardboard cutout suit, the profile photo that's seen on letterbox drops, and that's about as much as anyone knows of people, unless they see them at an open home. So, that's what we're about, is just showcasing the person behind the suit, the person behind the photo.
Amazing.
And, really trying to boost their personal profile out.
Cool. So we touched on it a little bit before, but what was your previous jobs before you got into this?
I've always had an entrepreneurial sort of spirit. So the main part of Melbourne real estate media has been copywriting. So we write anything that a real estate agent needs to be written. So whether it's award submissions, marketing, home descriptions is the main part of what we were doing. And then, before that, auctioneering. So my 18 years of real estate has only had about 4 or 5 years of listing and selling. Majority of it's been through auctioneering, marketing and sales training. I've had some inter-industry experience as well in things like insurance, which you take processes from that and adapt them to real estate. And same with social media now as well is, my wife is a full-time content creator.
Making delicious food.
in the food industry, but she adapting her techniques across into real estate has really helped get us some viral content out for our clients that isn't based on trends. And also being able to adapt sales processes to our stuff too, so that you sell the videos, sell the brand, sell the profile rather than sell the home. Yeah.
Amazing. And I'm very curious to know, what was your career goal as a kid? Like, you know how kids are always like, I want to be a policeman, I want to be a fireman. Yeah. What was that for you?
I wanted to ride in the Tour de France.
Wow.
Yeah, until grade 6.
Yeah.
And we went around the classroom in grade 6 and I stood up and said, I want to be a cyclist in the Tour de France.
Yeah.
And my teacher said, that's not a job, you can't earn any money from that. So that was actually
like, dang.
Cool. Yeah.
Crushed my dreams.
I wasn't thinking about money in grade 6, but
no,
that was that dream cooked. But to be honest, it was actually to be in real estate. So after that, when I jumped into high school, I used to walk past the local real estate agent's house. And I knew it was his house because he had personalised number plates on all 3 of his cars, right?
As you do.
And they were, one car, great car, second car, great car. It's like Monday car, Tuesday car, Wednesday car, right? And he had a hot wife. And I was like, yeah, that's the guy I want to be, right? I want to be the guy with the nice cars and the hot wife. So I've got my nice car. I like my little 24-year-old Civic or whatever it is. And my wife's pretty hot too. So I feel like I've got there. Yeah.
There you go. Love the honesty.
Yeah.
Amazing. So let's move on to challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a big part about business.
Yeah.
It's not smooth sailing. So what was your most expensive mistake?
Not doing it sooner.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
So, and when you sent me through these questions, I thought about it a lot. And I haven't spent a lot of money. There's not a lot of overheads with what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of big, expensive overheads.
Yeah.
But my most expensive thing, I reckon I've lost millions by not doing this sooner.
Yeah.
And if I had started this 10 years ago, my life would look completely different now. My business would look completely different now.
Yeah.
My biggest mistake is probably, and that's through listening to other people going, oh, no, don't do that, Chris, stay safe, stay in your lane type of thing.
Yeah.
And not embracing not embracing that entrepreneurial spirit's a little bit ADHD as well, right?
It's got to be.
Not that little bit of crazy, not embracing that little bit of crazy to go, stuff it, let's go.
Yeah.
And if
you stay in that safe lane, like, you're not going to ever see what you could possibly achieve.
Yeah, 100%. So, saying yes and just figuring out how to do it along the way.
Yeah, I've winged it for 6.5 years. And, but you saying that, I'm like, yes, I've done this since, high school, but only the last sort of 6 to, 12 months, I really put my foot down. I'm like, why was I not moving at this pace earlier? Like, I could be so much further advanced. But that's the thing, like, I had a good chat with my business coach yesterday, and he brought me back down to earth that I need to really take that pressure off, and we're actually in no rush. And we did discuss this morning. We are in absolutely no rush.
No.
We need to take that pressure off ourselves, have a bit of gratitude about where we're at currently.
Yeah, 100%.
And then, because it's very easy to get lost in that cycle with running your own business and being ambitious and be like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And you're like, cool, let's just be content with what we've got for a second, because otherwise nothing will ever be good enough, and we'll just be on that continuous hamster wheel of trying to achieve the next thing.
Yeah. I don't want there to be a ceiling on anything that I'm doing. I do tend to chase and dream bigger every time I get to a spot.
Yeah. It's just having that, like, healthy ambition without it.
Yeah, I think
outweighing things.
Without it being too big, like, I don't have big ambitions. And that's not to say that I'm not ambitious. It's just my process internally is, what's the next step? So I'm here now. Yeah. What's the next step? There's a trail up at Mount Dandenong called the 1,000 Steps. Yeah, probably not. And I've always, when I was doing sales training, it was always, don't go too far ahead, because you won't be able to take those steps. And if you know the 1,000 steps, you know that when you're standing at the bottom of it, it's actually, you cannot see the top. You can't see past the first 20 steps. Yeah. And I think there's only like 850 steps. It's still a lot of steps, right? But if there's 850 steps, you can't take them all in one go. You can't get from point A to point Z straight away. You have to just go the next step, because even just skipping a step is hard, and it takes a lot out of you. Yeah. So you got to take it one step at a time. So that's always been my internal mantra, is to go, what's the next step? What's the next step? And all those little steps, you'll get there so much faster if you just, if it's a step a day or a step a week or whatever it is. Yeah. So I don't have huge ambitions about what it could become and where I am now compared to 6 months ago. With what I thought was going to happen, that crystal ball was wrong, and where I am now compared to there.
And things change. Yeah. Like, I've really experienced that. My goals for the business at the start of the year compared to now, they're vastly different.
Yeah.
Like, it's two different Lauras, and I just need to keep adapting and go, cool, it's okay to actually change my mind.
Yeah.
And it's okay to have this motivation or this experience alter where my direction is going. Go, cool, let's see how we go.
Yeah. Well, I think I was talking to you about it yesterday as well. It's like my goals become the people around, like the goals of the people around me become my goals. So like Ethan's goals, you know, where he wants to go and what he wants to do over the next 5 years. And we've spoken about that.
Yeah.
In my mind, I go, okay, cool, how can I help that?
Yeah.
How can I get him to that next spot? And same with you.
And having that mindset is so rare. So many people are just so self-absorbed and like, all right, this is my success, this is my path.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to go gun-ho and do it.
I think...
Whereas we discussed yesterday, it's the team that you've got in that intimate, close circle, especially in business.
Yeah.
That's incredible, having people on the same page.
Well, coming back to your question about the most expensive mistake as well, doing it on your own is a massive expensive mistake. I've started this without Ethan, and he'll tell you a million times over how shit my stuff was, right? You bring him on board and straight away, like the content, we've gone to charge 13x, 14x on what we were charging before, purely just from bringing him in.
Yeah.
So how expensive
quality.
would it have been for me, and how much work, like time expense, money expense, all that sort of stuff, if I tried to keep doing it on my own? I just wouldn't make any money.
It's literally resources. Like if you're going to, like anyone can do anything. Like there's that many YouTube things and things on Google. Yeah. We've all got that accessible, but if you join forces and join that knowledge, then you're going to get there faster and probably with a lot less strain because
100%.
You've got more minds.
Yeah.
Like the best tips that I've ever got in business was asking dumb questions.
Never stop asking dumb questions. They're the best.
So good. Like I remember nearly hiring someone.
I asked Ethan so many dumb questions, I reckon, in the last week. It's not funny. And he's just like, he just goes, oh, yeah, cool. We just do it like this. And it's great that he's a nice fella, right? But, like, the thing... All right. Another challenge, right, is not knowing that the knowledge that you have in your head is not common knowledge. So you know a lot of shit. I know a lot of shit. You know a lot of shit, Ethan, right? No one else knows the shit that I know. No one else knows the shit that you know. Yeah. And you were telling me about it. And you said something about, just use Facebook groups for that. Like it was nothing. Yeah. And I'm sitting there going, that's the best thing I've ever heard in my life. It literally blew my mind, and I was still talking about it days later.
And that's the thing. It's like it's second nature to me because I've done that for years. Yeah. And I'm just like, cool, we do this, this, and this. Yeah. And it's like social media. It's like I find it easy because I know how to work it. Yeah. Whereas other people, they're like, it's this big mountain, it's a huge task, and I hate doing it. I put it off, and I'm anxious about it, and I do it for 2 weeks, and I leave it. Yeah. Whereas for me, it's like I know how to smash it out. Because I enjoy it and I know how to use it. Yeah. So it's like, people just don't know how to do that. They've got their own paths where it's like amazing. They smash this, but then we can come in and help with that.
100%. And it's like, you and I were talking about Facebook and Google ads, and I was like, for me, it's second nature. It's a really, really simple thing. But you were sort of leading in and asking questions about this, and this, and I just thought to myself, that's been a challenge for me, is going, what is the thing that I know that is valuable to the world, and creating a service, product, whatever it is around that. Because most of what I do, like my brain just everywhere all the time, right? But it's the ability to take that out, make it simple, have a structure, have a process to it. A lot of what I work on with Ethan is just I supply the structure, the bones of it, and then he goes creative freedom. So if we're doing, say, a property video for a real estate agent, and our claim to fame with our property videos is that our average watch time is about 70% on all of our property videos.
Which is huge.
Massive, right? When you consider most property videos, the average watch time on a minute is 1.5 seconds. That's across the industry, across Australia, right? We're like 70% or something like that. It's actually mind-blowing, right? And it's not because they're only 20 to 30 seconds, which they are, right? It's because of the structure within the video that we sell it to the audience second on second on second.
And that's why you need the strategy and the structure rather than just going, cool, we need a video, let's quickly pump it out.
Yeah,
it does
and organically,
not work.
someone with 1,000 followers, organically we had the first video that we ever put up for her was 11,500 views, right? Or completely organic, she had 1,000 followers.
Yeah.
She actually stopped using us. When she did 4 or 5 videos with us, she stopped using us.
Why?
Creative differences, we'll call it.
Okay.
I'm not too sure. Like, the phone calls just stopped coming in. Lovely girl, by the way.
Yeah.
I'd still really like you. But the next video that she put up was 800 views.
Yeah.
And I would say a large
did
amount
herself?
of that was off the back of the algorithm going, oh, this person liked this video, this person's stuff before, so we'll put it in front of them again. Because it was higher than what they were getting before they started working with us. But it still wasn't even 10% of what we were able to produce organically.
Yeah.
So
And that's why you need that consistency in your strategy rather than just going, all right, that worked for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're done. We'll come back to that maybe in like 3 months' time. It does not work like that on socials.
Social media is so much about preparation, which for me is really, I don't prepare for anything. So that's why I'm a structure guy. Because if I can just copy and paste the structure and then just fill in the gaps, everything I don't need to prepare anymore.
Yeah.
Auctions, perfect example, 2,000 auctions. I never looked at a house before I went out to it. I'd call 10 on a day.
What?
But I had a structure, right?
So you just adapted that.
First thing I'll do, ladies and gentlemen, is read out the rules and regulations. Secondly, walk you through this home one last time before. Thirdly, and most importantly, asking for your competitive bidding. Then I go through the rules because I'd memorised the rules, right? Then I talk about the house. Because of my background with copywriting, it takes me 2 minutes to walk through a house to get everything that I need, including evaporative cooling, ducted heating, all that sort of stuff as well. All the details up there. Photographic memory for me is actually pretty good. Right? And then being able to reel out an auction spiel off the back of that there.
Yeah.
And talk flat chat for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I had it down to a fine art with a structure.
Wow.
Whereas I knew I could walk in halfway through an auction when it wasn't quite at the reserve price and tell the owner, it's not there yet, but this is where it's going to end up at the end of it. And next time I see you, after the auction's finished, these are the questions that I'm going to ask you because that will be the next step.
Yeah.
It was fully down to a fine art through the whole thing.
And that's the thing, it's knowing that you work well with that structure and then just repeating that.
Once I know the structure, I'm prepared, full stop.
Yeah.
Auction 1, if I know the structure before that, 2,500 auctions later, I'm still at the same spot.
Yeah.
The only thing that, RAIV is going to do is maybe change the rules or something like that for me to relearn them.
Yeah.
Right? But otherwise, my structure remains exactly the same, regardless if it's a 1-bedroom house or a 5-bedroom mansion. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But that structure helps me prepare clients, prepare Ethan, prepare you, prepare a real estate agent who's going out, Chris, I need a quick script.
Yeah.
What am I going to say for this house?
Yeah.
And I can ask him 3 questions, give him a full spiel, and he'll get 10,000 views.
Yeah.
Done.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Let's move on to motivation because I'm really interested in this.
Mm-hmm.
What motivated you to actually take the leap and start your business?
So I was working with my sister last year. And
How was working with family? I've done that.
So we don't work together anymore.
Yeah, neither do me and my sister.
I
love Charlotte. She's amazing, but
So she, the cool thing was she was very high end with her stuff, and this was purely copywriting, right? She has high end clients, but we charge the same for low end clients, and I found it much easier to write low end stuff. So the creative difference is there and the direction on which to take the company, because we were business partners.
Yeah.
There was differing there, but also it was definitely her business, right?
Yeah.
But I had all these ideas in my head, and also I wanted to future-proof myself, right? So we split at November, December last year, and I thought I wanted to future-proof myself because ChatGPT is becoming a thing, and even though we hadn't lost a client, it was still one of those things that I don't want it to affect my ability to get new clients.
Yep.
Number one. And I don't want to... I was working really hard because there's no way to do copywriting without sitting down and doing the writing.
Yeah, doing the work.
And even though, again, I had my structures in place, I could get it done a lot quicker by having those structures because I knew the next step in each of the processes.
Yeah.
It still took a lot of time. coming up this morning, we're at 9 o'clock podcast. I was here at 6 o'clock, 6:30 or whatever, sitting in the cafe writing this morning because it's still a big part of our business.
Yeah.
And I've got other guys who help me out with that too now, and I've trained them up. Again, having structures makes for easy training.
Yeah. So this was about setting yourself up.
Yeah. I thought, okay, I've got to future-proof myself somehow.
Yeah. And
coming back to that thing about you don't know what you know until you know it, and someone asks you a question about it.
Yeah.
My wife, Mel, she's got 120-odd thousand followers on social media. She started her social media at the start of last year.
Yeah.
She's got full-time work out of it, minimum 4 figures a post from any companies, works with Coles, Woolies, Ninja.
Yeah.
We got sent a bloody robot vacuum the other day. And I don't know, you just get home, there's always a package on the doorstep with something new that she's got to do a post on. And, I tried my own social media last year as well. Jumped on TikTok a few months later, had 35, 40,000 followers on there too. Had a product up on Amazon, which still ticks over. So, yeah, being able to go, oh, geez, we're onto something here. We actually know what we're doing.
Finding your, playing to your strengths and going, cool, this is what I really excel in.
Yeah.
And there is a knowledge gap in the market. Let's fill that.
Yeah, and the really cool thing for me, I actually was out at a business doing a presentation on copywriting. And the director said, have you got anything else going on? And I said, yeah, I'm going to dip the toe into social media for real estate agents this year as well. And the amount of ears that pricked up in this, there was probably 25, 30 people in the office, in the meeting room.
Everyone's like, you said what?
Yeah. Well, 3 of them now we look after their social media.
Yeah, amazing.
Just off the back of that. And there's more to come, and they're probably going to put the office on too.
Yeah.
But those profiles became some of the most watched profiles in the network overnight.
Yeah.
Just off doing something a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Rather than just putting up a sold post and a listed post. And those guys are getting listings off it. So, just sort of rolling with the punches. Them asking questions about it and me saying, look, I don't have the answers for you right now about, costs, services provided, all that sort of stuff. But yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out as we go. But being very open and honest about the fact that, we're getting off the ground.
And I think there's so much value in being transparent. I've had some conversations with customers over the years and I'm like, cool, this is where we're at. And they're like, I really appreciate your honesty.
If you're not, you're lying.
Yeah. There's so many... influencers.
Yeah.
There was a very weird stage pre-COVID and a lot of influencers were popping up.
Yep.
And I saw that they were then starting to offer social media management for businesses.
Yep.
And it was really weird because I was in competition with people that had a bigger presence but had way less knowledge and virtually no processes.
Yep.
They just go, here, pay this exorbitant retainer and I'll do it.
Yep.
And there's one thing to post yourself. You're a young, good-looking 20-year-old. And there's another thing to, post as a brand.
Yep.
And as you know, it's not just posting, the end results.
No.
There is so much more that goes into content pillars and the strategy for socials. So it was just like the biggest eye roll. I'm like, all right, go ahead, use them and I'll see you in 6 months.
Yeah, 100%. Like I know, it was less than a month. This is how shallow the real estate social media scene is, right? It was less than 1 month. And because I started talking about real estate social media, searching it, looking at posts, all that sort of stuff online, my whole algorithm, my search function had changed to all of these gurus, right? And I'm not going to name any names at all. You're on a podcast, Chris. But every single one of them that I was worried about as being competition or potential they don't do what I do.
Yeah.
They don't do the video content that I do.
Yeah.
A lot of them just boost posts and hope for the best.
Yeah.
They put an online form on to generate some leads.
The amount of times I've had potential clients or current clients come to me and go, we really want to boost this because we've seen that this is meant to be what you do for socials.
No, not at all.
To get results. And I'm like, for the love of God, do not boost a post. It is the biggest
This
cash
is your value
grab.
snip. This is your value snip right here. If you have a video that has a 1.5 second average watch time and you put $100 behind it or 500 or 1,200 we've had in the last week from a client to boost that post, right? And the average watch time of that 1 minute video is 1.5 seconds. then all you're doing is showing a fuck ton more people 1.5 seconds of your shit video.
Yeah.
That's it.
How
and it'll
does-
show up as
yeah.
a view, because that's a view. That's a
Yeah,
view. That's a view when you
literally.
swipe through, right? But if you boost
It
that...
is not purposeful one bit. It
No.
is just a Facebook cash grab.
100%.
Yeah, people don't understand that it's not purposeful. It's not hitting your target market and it's not going to the right people, let
Yeah.
alone they're not absorbing it.
Yep.
It's just a quick, all right, here's some likes, here's some views.
Yeah. And then, but that is actually enough to satisfy a lot of people. A lot of clients are satisfied by the view number. They're like, yep, that's great. That's doing exactly what I want. It's got views, right? There was not a client of mine, but the office of a client that I work with that boosted a promotion, right? And it was something about winning a car.
Yeah.
If you're listed with them or something like that, you won a car. And they boosted it. I don't know how much money they put behind it, but I looked at just the view results and the engagement and stuff like that, just likes, comments, because I didn't have behind the scenes views to it. I just had front of house.
Yeah.
Just
Little
like
bit of
anyone
snooping.
else jumping on. And they had 3,000 views on a reel
How many
that
comments?
was actually a photo posted as a reel, which is terrible.
Yeah.
But it
Grinds
had
my gears when I see
3,000
those.
views. It had no likes and it had 3 comments.
Yeah, amazing.
Oh, no, sorry. It had no comments and 3 likes.
Yeah.
Right?
Super successful campaign.
Brilliant. And the 3 likes were the director, the director's partner, and one of the leasing consultants.
Yeah.
So they were all in offers.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much money they put behind that. $2,500 on
Yeah.
a photo reel. You probably put $400 or $500 behind it to
Yeah.
get that kind of result on a photo reel.
Yeah.
'Cause
I think
it's
we
not
can,
engaging.
agree that that's both one of our biggest pet peeves
Oh, massively.
with socials.
Yeah, if you're looking at views to justify success on your reels, you're doing it completely wrong.
Yep.
Snip it. Cut that out.
Alrighty, let's jump into the next question.
Mm-hmm.
What are your 3 non-negotiables in business?
I wrote this down before, but I'm going to just try and remember it.
Okay. Use that photographic memory.
Oh, no, it's gone now. Work ethic
Yep.
for myself
Yep.
and anyone that I'm working with.
Mm-hmm.
If I get an ETA on a job
Mm-hmm.
and the ETA isn't met, that's fine. Transparency.
Yep.
I don't care if it's not met, that's fine. As long as I know that's not met. Because if I've supplied a client with, if I've got you to go out to do a client's work and you haven't met the ETA, that's cool, no worries. I just have to let them know. So if you let me know, that's good, right? But work as hard as you can to try and get it done by that ETA that you've provided me. I'm not going to provide you with an ETA. I just want you to give me the parameters because I don't know your job. You give me the parameters and but work your ass off to get it done within that time, right?
Yeah.
Fulfill your promises.
Clear communication with everyone
Communication,
involved.
yeah. Clarity. The clarity of communication builds confidence. And if you do that in any sales process, if you do that in any service offering, if you do that in any product offering, then you win straight away. If you're the clearest person with your communication, then you'll build more confidence in your prospect than anyone else, your customer. So that's the first thing. Second thing is looking after your people. So I was saying before, you guys are my people. Yeah. I am selfish in that if you hit your goals and you hit your goals, then I'll probably hit mine. And if I help 10 other people around me do the same thing, then I'll probably hit mine. Because
But that's the whole givers gain. Yeah. Concept.
In some way, shape or form. It may not be immediate, direct, whatever. In some way, shape or form, that's going to come back to me. So looking after my people is really important to me. Ethan's not the only videographer that I work with. There's a guy I play footy with who did a job for us this morning. Brilliant, right? Building a network of videographers, because there's a lot of, I wouldn't say that a videographer knows another videographer because they're all on different jobs, right? So being able to build a network of that, photographers, all that sort of stuff, and being able to look after those people, all of my copywriters as well, I would prefer to go without the work to give them the job so that they can get what they want out of that job.
Why?
Because it'll come back to me. They'll put more effort in.
Yeah.
You're not letting them know type of thing that, I'm going without stuff today so that you can get a feed or whatever. But if the job satisfaction that comes from it, if I say, look, I'll give you 3 jobs a day, and then one day I give them 2, and then all of a sudden the next week it's 2 days, that's only 2 or something like that, going, oh, not really living up to his promises here. They're going to have to, inevitably, they're going to have to go out and find some sort of other work. But if I can give them that work or something similar to that work so that it fills that gap for them and they're happy with doing that, then there's something more to chase or a next step for them, and more job satisfaction within that. But also the flexibility for them to come back and go, I wanted 3 jobs a day, but at the moment I'm struggling with something else going on. Can I just get 1 or 2 a day? Yeah, cool, easy done. No worries.
And I think as business owners as well, it's really important to join forces and work as a collective rather than all trying to work individually. Everyone has this management employee mentality in business. And I think that, like, without having you guys on the ground, you don't have a business, right? Everyone says the customer's always right and that sort of thing. The first thing, employees have got to come first. You look after your employees, they look after your customer, which looks after your business. So I just onboarded a new client recently, and we go through key messaging and what makes them unique. And they're a local builder in Warragul. And the first thing that she said to me was, our team work together. And she just left it at that. And I sat with it for 2 seconds trying to be like, of course you work together. And she's like,
standard operation.
I was like, what? And she's like, no, we work together. We're all on the same page. When someone comes in with our admin team and we onboard them, we literally write down what their coffee order is, if they've got children, all those little details, build out their customer profile. And by the time they get to the site and meet the site supervisor, they already know that. And I'm like, wow, it's there is such a high importance on their customer and delivering an amazing service, not just a good service, but a great service. And to do that, you need an effective team that is all working on the same page with the same vision and outcome. Like, we want an exceptional customer experience, not just an okay or a good one. And you need everyone on the same page, everyone bought into the same narrative to be able to execute that.
100%. But stuff like that builds really good team culture, right? And as an employee, as someone who's, happy with just going to work and getting the work that's allocated to them, which is a majority of the population, right? How good's that to walk into an environment where everyone knows your name, wants to know what you've done on the weekend, but is there to support you as well? So if the ball is dropped somewhere along the line by fault or not, it doesn't matter. Because it doesn't. At the end of the day, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? If someone doesn't get me their copywriting on time, right?
That's the thing. We're not dealing with, heart surgery. We're dealing with social media. I
say it doesn't matter, but heart surgery matters, doesn't it?
But it's we need to obviously do our best, communicate. And that's the biggest thing. I've really enforced that with my team. Please just communicate. Tell me how you're travelling with things. I don't care if you can't meet your deadlines, but just communicate that, and then we can work out a solution.
If it becomes an ongoing issue, then...
Obviously, this is more one-off things. It's if I say, hey, all right, we've got this ad hoc, let's jump onto it, and they come back to me and they say, hey, I need to sign off at this time. I've got, appointments, personal commitments. That's fine. I don't want you strapped to your chair. Go and do that, because that'll make you a better employee. But also give me that communication so I can go, cool, this is urgent, I'll jump onto it, or I'll get another team member to deal with this. So we can continue delivering that really high level of customer experience. Rather than going, what's going on? It's all just being on the same page.
100%.
Amazing. So let's talk a little bit more about socials. So how has this digital marketing landscape changed over time for you? And I guess, where do you see that developing in the next couple of years?
So authenticity doesn't change, right? So, and this is the hardest thing for a real estate agent. They know how good they are at their job, right? The authentic ones, right?
The big smiles on the boards.
And a real estate agent who genuinely cares about the people that they're working with, who loves their job, has a passion for what they do. They know, and they're good negotiators and marketers, right? The hardest thing for them is being able to actually show that to their neighbourhood without getting the door slammed in front of their face, right? And authenticity, when you get it right with structure on social media, it doesn't change. So what would have worked 10 years ago is going to work in another 20 years' time.
Yeah.
Because people are people.
Yeah.
Right?
People connect with people, not things.
And all this AI stuff that comes in and viral trends and being on top of all of them and that sort of stuff. And I understand that works with certain things. But if your brand as an agent, as an individual, is I'm a genuine person and this is my personality, that's not really going to change. Right? You are who you are. Your vibe attracts your tribe. In 10, 15 years' time, you're going to get repeat customers that have sold with you 2, 3, 4 times.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, we've gone from everyone being primarily word of mouth and, I know Joe from down the street, he can look after you.
Yeah.
It's transferring that from more traditional in-person to carrying it across to online.
Yeah.
So you can still get a vibe of what that person's like before you even have that contact. So it's like, oh, that, you know, we align on this aspect. Oh, he's a bit funny. He's not too uptight and, you know, straightforward. He's not pushy.
Yeah.
You know, I want to have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
So it's putting that personality and that little bits and bobs that makes that person unique and why they're an expert in their field online, so you can connect with that rather than just go, oh, another real estate agent.
Yeah, 100%. And look, there's, for my role in particular, even just the things that I've noticed with, I've always I've had a grasp of Google advertising, Facebook advertising.
Yeah.
The things that I've noticed with Meta is that they've changed from the amount of money that you put behind something now to pushing quality. So Instagram especially. And that's because of the rise of TikTok. Because TikTok is very much, we don't give a fuck. As long as it's good stuff, we'll put it in front of people. Let's roll. And that's why TikTok has risen so quickly to where it is now, is because it is about the quality of the content and it's the audience first. Yeah. If an audience member is watching it, and this is why things like micro-influencers and, you know, like my wife, you know, why she gets paid work to do user-generated content creation for businesses is because what she's doing is actually engaging. So business want to work with that because their ads aren't getting seen and they need to sell a product. If they do that, they know they're going to get instant ROI on that because of the way that she's putting it out there.
And it's going out to a real audience with interests in that field.
Yeah, because TikTok frames it around that, right? Yeah. So, and everyone says, oh, my client isn't on TikTok. Your client's on TikTok. Your client is on TikTok. Yeah.
If not your client, your client's partner that they talk to every single day, or your kid that will show you this and go, Dad, look at this. Yeah.
In saying that, I don't work with TikTok. I don't have a TikTok. I did have a TikTok. I shut it down.
We need to do a lot with your social media.
My social media.
Go like his latest post. Jokes.
I focus on my client. It's all about my client.
That's okay.
I don't worry about me.
Look, I've only, you know, I'm a big hypocrite because for over 6.5 years, nearly 6.5 years, I really didn't have a strategy and like I put it to the sideline. It's only been the last couple of months where I've now got a team and I've got more capacity to do my own marketing and delve into that I'm like, okay, cool, we should probably. And it's been amazing, like the amount of leads that I had last month compared to non-social media leads. Yeah. It was huge. It outweighed it. It nearly doubled it. And I'm like, oh, that's huge given I've only done this for 2 months. Yeah. Yeah. And they're like, oh, saw you on Instagram. Oh.
See that, and we've spoken about this as well, right? Is that my service offering is tailored to the individual or the office, right? Yeah. So if an office comes to me and says, we want this, and this, I don't have a calculator that I sort of put it into and it spits out a thing. Yeah. Right? I have to weigh up the amount of time that we're putting into that, their requirements around that, the type of content that it is. So like one video could be vastly different to another, and there be needs to put that type of content together as well. Like if we're bringing out all this podcast equipment by comparison to someone who's happy doing it on their iPhone, the structure, it's, you know, the visual quality does help, absolutely. It lends professionalism to it, but like my wife's got 120,000 followers and she uses her iPhone. Yeah. You know, and most of the time it's got goobers on it from our toddler. Like, you don't realise until after you've finished filming for half an hour that there's been things on the camera the whole time. Yeah. But it still works. It still gets stuff. And that type of stuff lends to engagement. People are like, there's a goober on your camera.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, the algorithm goes, that's a comment, that's engagement, let's put it in front of more people. All of a sudden, you're just organically getting heaps of views because there's a goober on your camera. You know, like this video is just immaculate by comparison. So there's benefits to both of it, right?
Yeah.
Fully lost my train of thought.
I know, I'm like, where are we up to?
But yes, social media.
Yes, socials. Let's jump into connection.
Yes.
Why is it important for you to have meaningful connections and interactions in your day-to-day business life?
Because I'm lonely and bored otherwise.
Every business owner.
It was so good when you called me yesterday. I had a 40-minute drive ahead of me. I was like, yes, I can start something. It's business owner life is hectic.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're talking to heaps of people.
Yeah.
But they're all associates. You know, they're not necessarily, deep conversations. It's always something with an end goal in mind.
Yeah.
I genuinely care about the clients that I work with, and I want to see, because you sit down with them, they tell you the story, and you're instantly immersed in what their story is, and they're coming to you because they have that story, and you have the know-how to be able to get it out to the people that they want to get it out to.
Yeah.
So,
do you think that you connect more with your clients because you've had that huge background and knowledge in real estate, so you can maybe see yourself in their shoes a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not until right now, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's well done. That's a good question.
Thanks.
Yeah, so I was, when I was listing and selling, I was not successful. I could do it. I know where to sign and where to look and who to call and all that sort of stuff. But I wasn't massively successful at it. And I don't think I actually learned how to sell anything until I left real estate after that 5 or 6 years of listing and selling. Even though I called a couple of auctions and stuff, I didn't learn. I remember I went into a role and they said, oh, Chris, you've been in real estate. Tell us what a close is. I was like, I don't know, you mean like closing the door, or what are you talking about? I've got no idea, right? So, I learnt sales, emotional sales, not like Wolf of Wall Street style. I've got the best thing here. Not that stuff, because that's just shit.
Yeah. We're in Australia, not America.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it works at all. But anyway, we're going down a rabbit hole there. I didn't learn emotional sales until later on, but that's also helped me with genuine connections too. I have, a lot of my clients I would consider good friends because I'm invested in their story. And then you spend time creating the content with them. Yeah,
and it's very intimate for a business owner to open up and be like, hey, here's how we run things, here's our story, here's our values, this is what it looks like day to day, this is how we operate.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're giving their secret sauce over and inviting you into this very intimate part of their life.
Yeah, 100%.
Whether people think it or not, business is intimate, and it's someone pouring their heart and soul into their livelihood and what they do every single day. Yeah. So I always value when I get a new client and they do, we're doing the onboarding and they're sharing, because I'm like, wow.
I love that excitement.
Yeah, it's so cool to get to know them and be like,
yeah,
this is your day-to-day and you love it, and this is, what you thrive in, and I get to be involved in this. Like, how cool.
Yeah, and it goes back to that, you take stuff for granted, right? We do this every day. When you show someone, Ethan was taking photos last week in one of our sessions, and we sent the photos across to the client, and she was almost crying.
Yeah.
It's this is the best thing this is so good. I'm so, the genuine excitement that was coming out of them was so cool.
Yeah.
But I reckon I've maybe had, including onboarding and all that sort of stuff, maybe had 6 conversations with this woman. She's got one of the deepest, most amazing stories ever. And I just walk up to her and give her a hug. Straight away, oh, hey mate, how are ya? And that's my other thing as well. That's a little tip. I've got an Ocker accent, real right? I just call everyone mate.
Yep.
I just decided, it was one of the things that actually really built my confidence when I was about 27. I was like, nah, stuff it. I am who I am. Just own it. My dad always has said g'day. Never said hello or anything like that. And it's one of the things that I picked up, and I was like, I just want to be me, and that, you know, my dad's a big part of who I am. So, mate, everyone is mate. Like, your mate, doesn't matter who it is. The barista serving me my coffee, oh, thanks, mate, have a good day.
Yeah. And that's the thing, we've got so much social conditioning, and also when you come in from, like, all right, you finish school, maybe university, you've had that upbringing, your family upbringing, and then you work in, like, you enter the work world, and then you've got all these expectations of how you need to dress and show up and interact with people, and you end up, like, your mid-20s, you're like, who the fuck am I?
And it fully took me so long, like, I was 27 before I figured it out, so you're 10 years out of high school, right? And you go into real estate. When you turn 18, you know, put a suit on straight away. And everyone is, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, this, that, the other. And it just wasn't who I was. And I remember my boss, who's now, like, he's one of the board directors at a real estate agency. And he always said to me, Chris, you should be, like, you should live in Nimbin in Queensland. Like, you're just a full-blown hippie. And I never thought of myself as a hippie or anything like that. And I wasn't. You know, this was before I realised, no, I should just be myself. Yeah. It took me so long to figure that out.
Yeah. I think for me, like, the biggest turning point was feeling that internal frustration because you're not being authentic, and you're like, that didn't quite land. That wasn't quite me.
Oh,
and going through, and going through, especially like mid-20s. Yeah. Like, I'm 26 and I'm only just starting to, you know, figure out what I like in my style and how I interact and what fills up my cup.
Yeah.
And it's so much as well being a business owner and then needing to portray that, because I've gone through this business for over 6 years.
Yeah.
Going, I need to be professional. I need to do this. I need to do that. And it's like, why the fuck do I need to do that? Chris, tips for balancing work and personal life and stress. Big one.
I started playing footy again this year.
Nice.
I'm not very good at this.
Like AFL or soccer?
Yeah, AFL. I'm not very good at this whole balance thing. I'm very much a work person. But I found the things that have worked for me are, I live off my calendar, so I put family stuff into my calendar.
Yeah, nice. Book it out like an appointment.
Yeah, 100%. So 9 till 12, every second Saturday is nature mornings. Mm-hmm. So we all pile into the car, we go up to Dandenongs or out Gippsland or whatever, down the peninsula, and we just spend time outside, regardless if it's hot, cold, wet, windy, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's a really big thing. But even things like going for a run. But the biggest thing for me this year has been going back to play footy. So it was a mate of mine who used to work with it, and he said, we're going to go play old man footy.
Yeah.
Come down, all the guys who used to play with his kids.
Come do your hammy.
And I went down there, and there's like 7 blokes there that I went to school with. I was like, this is brilliant. This is so good.
So good.
And we play every second week as well because we're old men.
Yeah.
And I'm so sore. My shoulder's gone. My fingers are all jarred. I'm completely stuffed. I've got tendonitis in both of my feet. Like,
nice.
But I love it.
Yeah.
It's so good. And the family actually really likes it as well. So they'll come down. My dad used to work on weekends when I was playing footy as a kid, and I stopped to work because I was in real estate, so you work on weekends.
Yeah.
So from 17 thereabouts until now 36, I haven't played footy. I think I played maybe 2 games. But my dad comes down to every game now.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, because he never got to when I was a kid because he was always working.
And I'm sure your kids probably love watching you play as well.
The youngest one, he comes in because we've all got kids.
Yeah.
So every time you win a game, they all come in for the song, all the kids, and they all go in the middle and stuff. And so he's learned all the words to the song, and he loves it. So he wasn't really big into footy. He's only just turned 4. So he wasn't really big into footy at the start of the season, and now he'll just sit there watching it on TV. He loves it.
Yeah.
Goes
Who do you go for?
Footy. Huh?
Who do you go for?
Melbourne.
I'm Bombers, so we can also...
Everything is Melbourne.
Yeah. Of course. I couldn't believe when I found out yesterday that your last name was actually Melbourne. I was like, what?
no one. It happens to my wife all the time. So her name is actually Melbourne. Which was always another goal of mine. To get a Melinda or a Melinda. No.
Vision board.
She gets it all the time.
Wife named Mel.
She gets it all the time from clients and stuff. They're like, we're just writing up this. What's your surname?
Yeah.
her username is Melbourne.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, we just assumed you were from Melbourne.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's...
that was where my brain went yesterday.
There you go.
Amazing. Last question is, what does success look like in your eyes?
I reckon I'm there, right? So there's a quote, success isn't the key to happiness, happiness is the key to success. If you love what you're doing and you're happy, you're successful.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. I don't think that's the exact words, but I really like that. And as much as sometimes you get up and you're like, I really don't want to do this. Yeah. And as a business owner, if you're sick, especially a small business owner, if you're sick, you're working.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You don't get sick days.
Yeah.
Holidays are, good luck, right? Especially in real estate. They'll demand something from you that day. It's got to get done. Yeah. You can't be off doing other stuff. So, but I love what I do. I really, really love what I do. And my wife loves what she does. And I've got 2 boys that are just stoked with life.
Yeah.
And even though I am very much at ground level getting stuff off the ground, right? I am so successful. My 24-year-old Civic that got rammed up the arse on the way here. I love that little car. I hope it doesn't get written off.
Yeah.
I love that little car.
And that's the thing. It's what brings you joy in life. And you know how I've seen all these videos on Instagram and it's like someone getting like a big welcome home from their parents or something. And they're like, that man is rich. And it's like, I feel like there is this amazing transition from this is what success and richness looks like to this is what it actually looks like.
Yeah.
And it's having those really meaningful...
all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I couldn't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
My dream car when I was, 18 years old was the Honda Civic that I now own. And I just by chance had to get a car. It fell within the price range. Started driving it. It wasn't until after I bought it that I realised I love this car.
Yeah.
So that for me is
that's great.
Success,
Yeah.
And then we're planning on moving out towards the countryside a bit more, and that's like another box that I've wanted to tick too. So there's all these little things and it's not going to be the big grand home and all that sort of stuff. It's just going to be our life. Yeah. But I get to do that with my people, my family, my closest people. So special. That. And then also having, like, bringing it back to business as well. Success is having clients and people that you want to work with, that you enjoy going to work with and seeing every day. You know, good person. We said it before, I don't want to work with wankers. Yeah. If you're a wanker, massive red flag, don't want to work with you. Yeah. Don't be a wanker. That's not what anyone else is here for. No one goes to work to have a shit time. No. And you just
be respectful.
100%.
Be
I'll
nice.
show you all the respect in the world, but if it doesn't come back the other way...
See ya.
Yeah. I'm the only one who does what I do. There's plenty of you. Yeah. I'll go find someone else. It's cool.
Yeah. Amazing. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
And sharing all about you and how you run things in your brain and how you operate.
Sharing your brain.
Sharing your brain. Where can the audience find you?
So I have like an anti-social media.
Which I still can't get my fucking head around.
So Melbourne Real Estate Media, Facebook and Instagram, jump on there. I don't have a single post up, but I get followers every day. So I'm happy with that. At the moment, just working on word of mouth stuff. Yeah. And people just seem to tend to know what I do now, which is cool.
Yeah.
And awesome. They're good people that you want to work with. So look, that word of mouth is spreading pretty quick. Interstate stuff and all that sort of stuff happening as well. And one day I might put up a post on social media. We'll see how we go.
I'm going to force you to do it. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
If you've listened this far, please give us a 5-star review, subscribe, follow, all that jazz, and we'll see you next time.